You are listening to the Manoftomorrow podcast.
Hey everyone, Manoftomorrow.
Tonight's topics, just a few of them tonight. A very good movie and a crappy film, and Taken 2. So I guess let's begin. What do you want to start with?
Um, Whichever one you want to start with, I don't have any preference.
I guess we'll do Taken 2 first.
Okay.
What did you think of it?
It was a pretty good film. I enjoyed it. I mean, when I was starting to watch it, I liked the opening. You know, where uh, Nelson's character he's doing, the car wash thing, and he looks like he's doing work again, like he's trying to get his life back to normal. I assume the last film, he was a retired operative,
Something like that.
and the guy tells him, I'm only paying for the car. He wants to make sure it's not extra. He's like, and Nielsen's character says, I know, I'm just doing it because I'm, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like, obsessive. Like, he wants to perfect what he's doing. And he drives by his ex-wife's home because he has to give his daughter driving lessons. And she's over at her boyfriend's, and I can't help but I like that little scene with them where they're more cozy with each other. Like they're not, like they're at friction in the last film. Like they couldn't stand each other. Like the father was trying to be more tolerating his ex because his daughter was kidnapped and his ex-wife was married to someone else, and he finds out that his daughter has a boyfriend. He's sort of surprised by this, and she's like, "Don't go looking for him." And he gives this little speech like, "I know, I won't. I'm going to give her space." I'm thinking in my head, no, you're going to go over there. I just know you are. And the minute he walks up to her daughter's boyfriend's home, I'm like, "Don't do it." I just know he's going to try to make a big deal about it. But no, he doesn't even get after him. Like he doesn't try to wring his neck, saying, "What are you doing with my daughter?" No, he basically embarrasses her. I don't see how this could be quote an embarrassing moment. I mean, she knew that she was to take driving lessons from him because apparently he said, you failed the test 3 times. This is why I'm giving you lessons. And she makes a big deal about it. Walks out. They do the lesson, and they get this little. I don't know. I was hoping that the friends of Nielsen's character would have had a bigger role. They didn't. I mean, I would have personally liked like maybe more screen time, like a mini mission. But no, I mean, I'm happy with the screen time I got with his friends. I like how they gave him a little jab, like, "Oh, are you gonna get back together with your ex?" And he's like, "Man, drop it." And was he talking about? Did he bring up baseball or boxing? Do you remember which?
I don't remember that, honestly.
What did you think of the film early on?
Early on, it started off okay. I liked the story, I liked the way it's set up. It started off okay. In fact, I thought the first 2 acts were pretty good. They had a good pace, everything was going good. It was the third act, I just kind of like, this is fucking this. It just started. The third act was really rushed. That's one thing I noticed early on is that it was really rushed.
Wait, you're talking about the final fight? You mean?
Well, where he has to find his wife and shit, like he has to find his wife, but yet somehow he knows exactly where she is when clearly the van had driven off the other way, so there had been. How could he have found her? And it was like, wait, how could you find her so fucking fast?
Yeah. I mean, one thing I liked about this film is that um, the daughter did not get kidnapped again. I mean, there was a slight chance she would have been caught, but then some alarm goes off in the hotel, and she's spared. I mean, I like the fact that she actually had a tougher, a more character-driven story in this one because I mean, she's trying to on the side she's trying to get her license so she can drive. She has a boyfriend. You know, her father's not too crazy about it, and we all get that. I mean, there's bound to be a time if anyone has a daughter, you know you're going to kind of give that guy a hard time because you think, okay, they're not good enough for her. You know, you don't want them to move on, you know, or get hurt, something like that. And he actually orders her. It's like, you know, go to the U.S. embassy. U.S. embassy. Hope I got that said that correctly. And she's like, no, you know, I want to help. And he doesn't want to put her in danger. She's like, you're my father, you know, you're my parents. I got to help you. I like that she took that initiative that instead of being the, oh, I'm the helpless woman, so I have to go and hide somewhere. No. She held her own. I mean, it would have been nice to see more of an action sequence because to me, when I first saw the trailer, I was thinking to myself, you know, this was early on when she was started to learn how to drive. I'm thinking like, no, please don't let her driving lesson be that big action sequence in the trailer to where her father's saying, drive faster, you know, and cross over the past the train. I was hoping that wasn't going to be it, but you know, it was interesting to sort of throw that in there to where, you know, here's the calm sequence of learning how to drive, and here's the extreme method of learning how to drive. You know, hit that police car, go around this corner, go through that, you know, street, you know, go past this train. And he's like, I don't know if I can do it, drive. You know, and instead of the father telling the daughter to, you know, drive slowly, you know, check your mirror, all that, you know, instead of it being like that, he's actually encouraging her to be reckless because they got to get away from the, you know, foreign police. In the to me, the wife being in danger, that was it was more conveniently set up. I mean, if they really wanted to hurt him as a character, like do payback, you know, hurt the people you love to basically send a message, you know, you want revenge. They barely cut her neck and hang her upside down. I saw that as two different things. One, censoring the violence because it's a PG-13 film. If they really went hardcore, then she would be screwed up pretty badly. And here, and the second is that they did that so that I knew it was a setup to where she's going to get saved, and he's going to end up being back together with his ex. That's how I viewed it.
Well, I mean, it was just I felt the whole film really. I felt like I said those final two acts were just really rushed. I think the problem is they didn't really take their time. They were just kind of like, yeah, here's this final yeah, at the very end there he has to go find his fucking ex, and it didn't have the same. It wasn't nearly as it didn't have the same. Really, it wasn't like the problem was it just kind of came off. It wasn't like the first one when you're with him searching for his daughter. Here, the final act just felt so rushed, and it was and that was my big issue. Is it just everything felt so rushed at the end there.
Oh yeah, to where in the first film, you know, the stress is just piling on to where, you know, is his daughter still alive? And then the final part where he actually confronts the guy that bought her, you know, as a the whole slave trade thing. She was literally in danger to where he's got either a gun or a knife, some kind of weapon on his daughter, and he's got to be extremely careful that he doesn't hit her, and that if he's going to aim for his attacker, that it's not going to cause some spontaneous reaction to where you know the gun goes off or he actually cuts her. I'll have to go back and rewatch the first film to really see that. But I actually felt the stress factor kept piling on from each action sequence because I mean everything's against him in the first film. His friend in what was it, Europe or Paris? I think it was Paris, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think one of the problems with this film, and well, there was a few things. First, this is. Have you seen From Paris with Love?
No, but isn't that with John Travolta
Yeah.
and the guy Chris Pines? Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same producer, I believe, who did Taken Two, did From Paris with Love. I thought it would have been kind of cool if they had John Travolta character who was in that film team up with Liam Neeson in this one, and they go on a terrorist hunt trying to find the terrorist, find who kidnapped his wife. They go on a hunt together because he decides to work with him. They work together. I think it would have been kind of a cool premise to have those two work together.
Yeah, because Travolta is a good actor. I mean, I've seen a couple of his films, and one of my personal favorite films of him is the Broken Arrow film. That's a great. He played such a great villain, and he can do good heroic roles. Like I forget that one film. I mean, I've seen it, but it's the one where his ex-wife, I guess, is engaged to
Oh,
the
Face Off.
no, not Face Off. It's the one. It's got Vince Vaughn in it, and his son is
Oh,
scared
that
of him.
one. I
Yeah,
forget what it's called, but that was a good one too. That was a
yeah.
really enjoyable one. Actually, he was in from Paris with Love. He played this crazy like bounty hunt. He played this like crazy agent who worked for the FBI. Did all this crazy shit. Was like loved blowing shit up. He actually the movie starts off with him in a prison in airport security because they won't let him bring in his soft drinks. And he's
Oh,
just being a complete asshole to the Paris security team, saying, "You motherfucking anti-American assholes! You don't like me." And then the guy comes in, fixes the problem, and he goes, "Dude, why would you care about these soft drinks? Because these soft drinks have my best friend in them." Pulls out freaking all these parts to a gun.
okay. I definitely have to look into seeing that film.
And then there's a scene where they go into a Chinese restaurant, and he basically starts shooting everyone, and he starts shooting up all these bad guys, and the guy who's with him says, "Dude, it's just the staff, the kitchen staff." And he looks and Travolta looks at him going, "Just the kitchen staff? Man, are you crazy?" Goes in, takes him out, actually finds a hole. He shoots a hole. There's a bunch of cocaine comes down. He grabs a vase, starts pouring it in the vase, and gives it to the other guy and goes, "Here, let's go."
Okay, I'm definitely gonna look in this film. I'm gonna try to find it some way
It's
to
one of
watch it.
those films. And one of the best parts is it doesn't have an over complex story of, oh, there's a massive twist you didn't see coming. It's a simple, straight up story, which I liked.
Yeah, and the final confrontation in this film, Taken Two, it felt well. I like the fact that he gave the guy that speaks the speech saying, look, I don't want to kill you, okay? You know, you're old, you lost your son, you've got more children and grandchildren. My advice to you, just walk away, forget about this, and live your life with your family, you know. And he says he'll do that on the one obligation, which is, if you say yes, I'll put my gun down and walk away. Um, I saw it coming a mile away that he was going to pick up the gun and try to shoot him. Like, why are you even giving him